Hello.
Happy Hell Week, Ian.
Hell Week 3.
Hell Week 3, baby. We're entering Fast and Furious numbers of sequels here. We're gonna enter two Hell 2 week pretty soon. But
You're
hey, we're
going.
alive. We're
You're
alive.
cooking.
Oh, dude, I'm getting
As the kids
cooked. I
say.
think cook or
Yeah, it
be
could be that
cooked. I
too.
think I've gone on the wrong side of the frying pan in the fire here.
Dude, I need you to ship these solos, man. Like, I
I
need
know.
updates. I have bugs that need fixing. What are you
I
doing? You're probably
know.
just sitting by a pool or something. It's Texas. You
I
got nothing
I
going on.
probably am. I have a friend who told me I should go on vacation, and so I've just been
Yes.
on vacation.
Well,
I
I
haven't
would
been
be
doing
happy to hear that.
anything.
If you were on vacation, I'd be happy that you were on vacation.
You and Jason Beggs have been beta testing and finding all sorts of valuable bugs. The entire system has been rewritten since I've shipped it to you. Entire thing.
Okay. This is solo. Why is
This is
that?
solo.
Why did we rewrite it from the ground up again?
Turns out hard things are still hard.
No
Breaking
way.
news. You heard it here first.
Also, when you have one vision of an app and then you are pivoting it to something
correct,
almost totally different, that is
almost
to be fair to you,
totally different. Yes,
it's a completely different app that you started building, basically.
I am being bandied about by market forces, which I welcome. That's fine. I'm happy for that. But bandied about I am. And so the structure of the app. Solo is a very it's not a crud app. I'll say that.
No,
it's not a crud app.
You can't just lean on that. You can't just go on your years of experience with crud apps.
Got 20 years of just, hey, let's put a form over this table and call it an app and everyone's impressed. No longer, my friends. So Solo manages, as you'll well know, a lot of processes, right? Every process now needs pretty robust input support. It used to be that you were just kind of like watching stuff go by, right? You're just kind of watching NPM run, you're watching logs, you're watching queues, and it's like, this works, it's great. Then when people were like, I want to run Claude code in it, which is famously vibe coded and famously buggy, but stands head and shoulders above Gemini CLI, which is a disaster.
It's crazy.
Disaster. People are like, I want to interact with those in Solo, and it needs to be really good, and it has to support everything. Oh, and by the way, I want to do open code too, which is a full-on TUI. That also, I have process stats in the Solo sidebar. So you hit 4 open codes, and they're all like, 900 megabytes memory, a gig of memory, a gig. And I'm like,
the open code guys.
What the hell is going on over here?
I thought they're supposed to be the software guys. What's going on?
I know. They keep bragging about reading the code. And I'm like, who's reading it over there? So anyway, I'm managing all these processes now, right? And on the back end, it's...
Hold on.
Yeah.
Because I have a question already. And
all right.
It's very confusing to me as a user. And maybe you can clear this up. So so inside Solo...
Correct.
Left nav, and then you click the left nav, ideally, and you're going to get a Claude Code instance or a Gemini instance or whatever on the right panel. Okay. Now, I naively feel like, hey, we can just shove this. You're using like a ghosty underlying...
Used to, but yes,
thing.
Carry on.
Okay, used to.
Yep.
Can't we just shove it in there and we get ghosty? And it feels like you're doing a lot of input management. You're like dealing with things coming in and out, and I don't understand why. It's not just like a view. It's not just a frame to ghosty, apparently.
Correct.
It's something else. Okay.
Correct.
Right.
So the first version that most people currently still have is Ghosty. Ghosty Web Wasm. That has been completely ripped out. No more Ghosty Web Wasm.
No more
Ghosty itself is amazing. Ghosty Web Wasm is not Mitchell Hashimoto's thing. That is that's a third party that's taken lib Ghosty and turning it into Wasm, and so it's like it's in flux. It's pretty good, but it's early. So that's been ripped out. What you're currently using is Xterm JS, which powers VS Code. So I feel confident in its implementation because it has been powering VS Code for a long time and it's very good.
Okay.
Why is it not just a dumb window. That
Mm.
is more or less what it is.
Okay.
There are a few things that I have to do to power some of the features that we know, like, and love in Solo. One is I have to observe the stream of bytes, right?
Mhm.
So when the stream of bytes comes across and Claude Code says, "Hey, set the terminal title to this," I have to intercept that and pass that out to Solo front end, because Xterm has no terminal title. It's just like this pane
Okay.
of glass, right?
Mhm.
And that's how I do other things like, generate summaries and which
Right.
isn't working for you. Generate summaries and do other, like, if Cloud Code rings a bell, then I can capture that bell and send a desktop push notification. So that's on the
Mhm.
back end. I'm like observing the
Okay.
stream as it comes
Okay.
across.
Okay. Alright.
On the front end, on the front end, what we've got is historically it was like I just have one ghosty web wasm, and every time you switch tabs, I just like clear it out and then put in the buffer from the other process.
Ah.
And that worked fine when you're just
Yeah.
like, I'm tailing logs and I'm watching npm run dev.
Mhm.
Now that you've got these big TUIs, you've got, you know, 4 MB of scroll back in Claude Code, that
Mhm.
just doesn't work. It's
Yeah.
just totally unperformant.
Yeah.
And so what I have now switched to is the way that VS Code does it, and every process gets its own Xterm, like, instance, but not all
Mhm.
of them are attached to the DOM, obviously. So
Yeah.
Xterm is its own thing, and then it has like a WebGL renderer, which makes it super fast and look really nice.
Okay.
So what I'm doing now, this is the final state for
Okay.
today.
Yeah.
What I'm doing now is every process gets its own Xterm instance, and that
Okay.
allows the buffers to keep filling even when you're not looking at it, right? So Rust is sending stuff over the wire, Xterm is keeping it, everything
Okay.
works great.
Got
Then
it.
when you select a tab, I mount the Xterm and then draw the web GL.
Okay.
And so that keeps everything feeling super duper fast. So I don't
Okay.
have to replay 10 megabytes of scroll
Right.
back to catch up to where you are.
Yeah.
And so now I'm also doing this other thing where I have a small pool of pre-warmed WebGL contexts. So I
Okay.
have 3 WebGL contexts. So if you're like switching back and forth between 2 of the same processes over and over and
Mhm.
over, it's
Mhm.
going to feel instant.
That's what I want.
And if, yeah, exactly. And if you switch to a cold one that you haven't seen in a while, it's
Okay.
about 16 to 32 milliseconds of delay. So you see kind of a
Okay.
little flash,
Yeah.
which I can potentially increase the buffer. I could do some things there, but this allows Xterm JS to respond to the REST queries without being present, right?
Mm.
Because historically I would just have one, and like if Rust was like, if open code says, "Hey, what's your color scheme?" which is a query that it can send, there's
Mhm.
nobody on the other side to respond because it
Right.
wasn't attached to anything. I was just capturing all of the buffer
Yeah.
and
You're
waiting
getting
for
some
Xterm
weird
to come alive.
states and
Yes.
yeah.
And so then I'm stuck in this bad position historically. I'm stuck in this bad position where I'm basically re-implementing the response codes that
Right. You don't
XJS
wanna do
should be doing.
that. Right.
I'm
Yeah.
like spying on them on the Rust side and being
Yeah.
like, "Hey, did you ask what color it was? Let me send something back on Rust." And it's like, "No,
Yeah.
brother, just let Xterm do that." And
Yeah.
the big unlock I realized is that you can separate the Xterm instance from the display or UI view of it. And so
Mhm.
you can hold,
Right.
50
They could just be
Xterms
running in the
alive. It can
background.
just
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
running and responding to these OSC queries and stuff
Mhm.
without paying the cost of
Mhm.
rendering it live.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're in a good spot now. I've
Good.
also refactored. Jason downloaded it and fired it up, and he was like, "Hey, I launched 3 open codes and it got really slow and then it crashed." And I was like, "Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess that makes
Yeah.
sense." And so I've refactored it to something called channels, Rust channels. It used to be that Rust would just send everything over the wire through
Mm.
one pipe, and it was like, you guys figure it out on the front end.
Right.
Now Rust sends it over channels, and every Xterm JS subscribes to its own channel. It's just
That
a
makes
little
sense.
small app that's only just marketing for faster.dev. Don't worry about it. And so now I've got these channels and I've got these
Yeah.
Xterm instances, and everybody's responding to the right things. There's been a few UI things where like the WebGL Atlas cache gets corrupted. That's all been fixed. So I haven't slept in years, but it's really good now. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because like I'm incredibly embarrassed by the version that people have right now. I don't know why anybody uses it. I think it's
Yeah,
terrible.
I mean, I do have to go back and forth still with Ghosty because, like, if it's a little unreliable in its
It
current state, but
is.
you know,
Yes.
we're getting there. I know we're getting there.
Yes. And that the unreliability is the thing that you and Jason both surfaced, and that's the back pressure. So like when you have all
Yeah,
those processes running,
right.
and you have one like renderer on the front end or one, capturer on the front end, it just can't keep up. And so it
Yeah.
creates this back pressure that eventually becomes overwhelming and the whole thing just comes to a halt. And so that has been fixed. We're now operating with 3 versions, one that the general public have, one that, the friends and family have, and one that's, I think, actually good that nobody has. But I'm trying to get there as fast as possible. But boy, it's uncomfortable being out there on the edge because
Yeah, man.
I'm so embarrassed by the version that's out there. I think it's like when people message me and they're like, "Hey, I really love Solo." I'm like, "Why? It's awful." But we're getting there, and I think it's going to be
Dude,
good.
this is what I've been trying to tell you. I'm glad you're seeing it. It's like, imagine if you had 7 of these things all
I know, it'd be
embarrassing you at the
awesome.
same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
No, it's like you have 1, and maybe when you get that really stable, maybe you could have
I
2.
know.
But that's the thing. Otherwise, it's too much pressure. It's too much stress because you're not the kind of guy. There are people out there who don't care about that stuff. And I wish I
I'm
had
not
that
that kind of
superpower.
guy.
But you are
Boy.
not that guy, and I'm not that guy who are just like, "Oh, I'm throwing stuff out there and it's crappy. Maybe I'll come back to it. Maybe I won't. Pay me." And they're fine
No.
with that, and that's fine.
No.
But, that's
That
too
hurts my
stressful for me.
soul. Yeah.
So, yes, I'm really liking it. I feel like the vision is there. I gotta run some queues now, which is
Yep.
like so more of its traditional purpose, but it's
Yeah.
like, okay, great. Like now it's all there. I tried this lazy Git thing to see if I could get away with never
Yeah.
leaving solo, to see if I could stay in solo and not have to go to GitHub desktop. Lazy Git's a little weird. I don't, it might be a little too neckbeard for me. I don't
It's
know
a
if I
little
can
too
handle
neckbeard
it.
for me. Yeah.
But, I don't know. I haven't got to fully use it with Solo and its fully operational status. So once I get the
Right.
newest Solo and I'm really all day in there, and then it's like maybe it will be worth it to deal
Right.
with lazy Git to like not have to bounce between another app. So we'll see. But
I have also breaking news here. I
mm.
have also contracted with one Will King to come
Ooh.
on and give it some UI UX love because
Oh,
I
okay.
think it looks good. I'm
Yeah.
proud of, what I did as an Aaron, not a designer.
Hmm.
But I think it could be a lot better. And so I'm
Yeah.
gonna have Will King give it the old design engineer pass. And in that process, I think adding lightweight Git integration is gonna be in there.
Part of
So
that. Okay.
yeah, so you'll be able to see like when you're in a project. My vision, I don't know what Will's gonna come up with. My vision will be like when you're in a project, kind of on the top right, you'll see additions and deletions,
Mm,
just like the numbers, the plus minus,
mhm.
and you can click on that, and there's a really, really, really great React library for rendering Git diffs very
Oh.
richly.
Ooh.
And you know, I hate to say it, but the haters were right.
I
React is
like
the
it.
way to go.
For
Um,
some stuff like
so
that, yeah.
so I'm glad I went with React, and I'll pull that in and give people a lightweight Git. I'm still staying away from work trees because I think they're really
Yeah.
confusing and I don't use them. And so I feel
Yeah.
hesitant to be like, let me bake in a work tree flow that I'm never going to
I
use.
totally think that's the right call. I think that's maybe someday if you get tons of people who are like, "Boy, we
Correct.
need the
Yeah.
work trees," then, like, fine. But, I mean, I feel like most people who are using it the way we are envisioning the way I
Yeah.
use it, right, and the way a lot of people who I feel like on Twitter, we've been talking about this or wanna use it. I think even just, like, the diff is gonna be I mean, that's all I need. It's just a diff.
I
Just give
know.
me a diff. I
Then
don't do
you're
any Git
there.
stuff. I'm not doing any Git stuff. If I need some crazy Git stuff, I'll go into the terminal. What I don't do any crazy Git stuff. I need like maybe if you want to have the commit button there, right? Whatever. Like
Yep, yep,
you need
yep,
like just literally the like I'm looking at this. Okay, let's go on to the next thing. I think if
yep,
you just have that, that's going to be like 95%. And if you need the other 5%, then you should go have lazy Git. You go into your terminal and you do whatever.
yep,
That's fine.
exactly.
So, yeah, I think a good call. I think the design is good, but I think like refinement of it, I think
Yeah, totally.
will be good for what you're trying to do here. So that all sounds good.
Can
I
I tell
love
you
it.
one other thing that's going to come? And I'm not making any
Yeah.
promises as to
Okay.
when. Um, Workspaces is going to come. So right now
Mm-hmm.
you've got one solo window, right?
Right.
And that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
nice. But imagine you've got let's just make something up. You've got Outro and Outro Mobile and Outro Admin, and they're all
Yep.
three separate repos. You
Mm-hmm.
might want like an Outro workspace that is a solo window and a HelpSpot workspace that is a solo window,
Mm-hmm.
um, so that you can have those projects in their own like areas.
Yep.
So that will come at some point, and that I think that'll be nice for like because right now I've got solo desktop, solo web, solo Raycast, and it's like I kind of just want to open the solo workspace
Right.
up top and then have my play around workspace down below, and it's like be able to hop back and forth.
So
And
just
so
multiple windows,
multiple windows where
basically.
you can basically parent a project in a window, and
Right.
then
So
when you
it's not
start,
every project there.
yeah, exactly. So when you start solo, you can say open this workspace, open that one, kind of like when PHP Storm launches, it's like pick a project. It'll
Right.
be kind of like that, except it'll be a workspace, and a workspace will have many projects.
But you could
So
still have multiple projects in one window or no?
yep, hmm
Or do you think that goes away? Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you could like operate it exactly the same as it is today and just have one window, or you could
Right.
say new workspace and then move a project or two or
Yeah.
10 into a workspace. So
I
you
got
can have
you.
like work, side projects, or you could
Yep.
have solo apps and
Yep.
faster.dev apps or something
Right.
like that.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. That's good. I could see using that for sure. Because there's like things I might want to cluster together, but then other things that I just want they're gonna be its own world, and I can
Right.
just be in that world when I'm in that world because I don't.
And for example, if you're like working on Outro, you want to launch the Outro workspace without having all the HelpSpot stuff auto start. But when you're working on
Right.
HelpSpot, having all of that auto start is really helpful.
Mm.
And so like
Yeah.
turning off auto start for all the projects is kind of like, well, this sucks. But
Yep.
auto start within a single workspace is like, yeah, this is what I'm working on right now. So that's
Yes.
coming. I haven't even started on that, but I'm like, yeah, that seems necessary to me. I like that.
Every time I share a screenshot, people love it and people get
People love
excited and
it.
people are like, why can't I have it?"
Because
So
it sucks. That's why you can't have it. I'm sorry. I'm really trying to limit the blast radius of how
Oh,
embarrassed I am. That's the only
yeah.
reason people can't have it.
No, I think you should not have many people. You're just gonna get the same bug report 50 times
I
and
know
like,
that
yeah,
that's
so
the real reason.
you gotta get the low hanging fruit like cleaned up and then you let another layer out, and
So I gave it to my two most helpful people that love to find things and still also be helpful, and that's you and Jason Beggs. So
there we go. I think
Jason always messages me and he's like, "Wow, why doesn't this line up with that?" And I'm like, "I think that's one pixel off." And he's like, "Nah, it doesn't line up. It looks terrible." I'm like, oh,
See,
"Okay,
I'm trying to stay away from those things. I'm just
I
like,
know, I
"Oh,
know,
this
I know."
doesn't work," and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So, um, all right, so we're getting there.
We're getting there.
People are liking it.
People
Even people are
are
liking
liking
the
it.
original version, and
People are
wait till they
liking the
get the new
terrible
version. That's
version. I
totally
know.
unrelated to the original
I
version. It's gonna be
know.
great. Yeah, I'm excited because like I mean, when I'm in there, I'm like, this is what I want to do. I want this all to
Mhm.
be functional and working,
Yep.
so I can just be in here all day and
Yep.
just have everything right here. And then you're gonna have along with workspaces, the other thing that's obvious that you'll have to have is split panes, I think.
Yes. Yep.
Because there'll be times where you just want to have two things next to each other, and I think that would be
Yep.
nice.
And this like fundamental rewrite enables that
Yeah,
with the multiple xterm instances and the WebGL
yeah,
context and all of that. So yeah, we're headed the right direction to get there. And I'm super glad I didn't just try to like YOLO split panes in the old crappy setup.
right. That would
That
have
would have
been.
oh so In
All
this
right.
case, whatever opposite of hoisted by my own petard is, I was saved by my own petard here.
Yeah, I think it's going the right direction. I think it's also, a lot of these other projects that are sort of trying to do the same thing. There's a few that are definitely on your corner, but most of them are, I think, overshooting to like
I think
other
so.
areas that are not as that are too much directly competing with the labs. Whereas, like, you are not. Labs are never going to build this. Like, this
No,
is not what they're building. So
nope.
this is for us who just want to be in the terminal, and that's how we like our AI, and that's
Yep.
great. And we don't necessarily want every other bell and whistle. So,
Yeah, I think one of the
yeah,
key insights so far has been obviously don't compete with the labs, but two, build around what the labs are shipping.
right,
So anytime Claude Code ships a new version that does something awesome, you get that immediately in Solo because you're just
right,
running Claude Code.
yeah, not
Anytime
waiting.
Gemini, Open Code, AMP, Codex, you
Yep,
just get it. It's just a multiplexer with some
yep,
bells and whistles built on top of it. I
yep.
still think the dev stack part is really nice. I saw somebody the other day that was like, "Hey Warp, stop shipping crap and let me run Yarn Dev." And I'm like, "Yeah, like that is like you do all
Right.
these other ones. You do need to just like run,
You're still separately
tail
running
log.
terminals
You
and
got to
like,
have
yeah,
something where you can actually run your dev stack." And
yeah.
so I think that's been a nice North Star so far.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Customer
Woo!
number one here. Ready? Let's
I
go.
know. You've been a
But you're moving
huge help.
fast. You're
I'm
moving
moving
fast.
as fast as I possibly
I'm
can.
a little
Last
scared
night,
about all this stuff you still have to do that you're committed to that's just squishing up behind this, but
oh
we
dude,
will approach that when we get there.
it was a 1:30 sleep in the office last night. So
Oh no, more sleep in the office.
it's not going great, but it's going fast.
I was almost I slept in the office because I was at home in the home office, but then I went up to bed at but I was up till 2, so it was a similar situation.
Hey, young man
Because just
Ian.
talk about this quickly before we do some bills, but people, there's nasty rumor out there that I don't
Mm.
ship, Ian doesn't
Ah,
ship, we're
where does
just
that come
floating
from?
around. I don't know. People say it.
Huh.
Ship the HelpSpot website off the to-do list. New
No
HelpSpot.com
way.
is up and running.
Helpspot.com?
We are fully operational battle station. I'm sure
Get
there's more stuff to
real.
do, but it functions, it
Look at
works, hopefully.
this.
Got lots of pages, it talks about lots of things. A little different
Oh,
direction, not
it's
a lot of
pretty.
screenshots, did a lot of illustrations, which I'm kind of excited about. I hope that works
Love the black and
because
white logos. Makes it look very clean.
ah, so
Pre-iPhone. That's fun. I love that badge.
isn't
Customer since 2006. That's
that
insane.
crazy? I was like, I gotta put that up there.
Man, great little SVG animation.
Yeah, Gemini is good at those.
Oh, there's more. Look at this.
There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Hey, this is great.
So
You
we got a
beat the
nice, sexy
allegations.
website.
You
Beat it. We
shipped.
shipped it.
You shipped.
So helpspot.com up and running. A lot of stuff. I mean, this is just phase one of like doing a whole bunch of other things, but like it's up there, it's out there. Pages are out there, a lot more information than the last website had, which is kind of like I said, experimental.
Look at
So
this.
yeah,
You're
no
a
more.
real business.
We're businessing. We're businessing.
This is awesome.
Thank you. It's out
Yeah,
there. All
the only bad part about you being on Twitter is I can't talk with all the friends of the show about how you don't ever ship anything and you don't see it. Now you see it
now I see
all.
it,
Now you
baby.
see it all.
Me and the AI are shipping.
No,
Got
dude, this looks awesome. Good job.
thank you. Yeah, I
I
think I'm pretty
really
happy
like
with it.
this.
We'll see if it sells software, which is always the question. But
Yeah.
phase one has to be out, and it is out. And it's got some nice stuff for building other landing pages and stuff quickly with the AI. So
Mhm.
like as I get more into doing some ad stuff I want to do and that kind of thing, it's got a bunch of like SEO and whatever. There have some name now for the AI SEO, which I can't remember off the top of my head.
GEO,
The
maybe?
GEO, the
Give me a
GEO.
break. Yeah.
So whatever, it's got stuff for all that stuff. So that'll be nice.
20 years in business, 99% customer satisfaction, $0 debt, and 0 outside investors. What an
There you
absolute
go.
flex.
Am I
This is
flexing?
awesome. This rules.
A little flex here and there.
Privately
99%, that's true.
held.
That's not a made up stat. That's a thing we actually track, people. 99% CSAT.
Well, congratulations. This is awesome.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
did wonder what in the world could you possibly be doing over
I mean, I
there
did
on this new
rebuild it like
website
4 times, so but we got somewhere I
as Ian
liked.
does.
I like to get it, I like to dial it in. I do feel like this is like an interesting thing with the AI development is it like kind of makes that part easier, obviously, as we talked about. It makes the
Yeah,
Laravel news so wonderful to
so
like
appealing.
I mean, even just with solo we're talking about, right? Like maybe in the
Yeah, let's
past you would have been like,
fundamentally re-architecture
right.
everything.
In the past you might have been like, this is kind of crappy, but like maybe I can power through because like to rip it all out is like
Mm-hmm.
such a like burden. But yeah, let's rip it all out and do it a better way. So um what's amazing about like the AI stuff too with building a website is like it just did all the mobile stuff. Like I didn't even like look at
Oh,
the mobile
it's
version.
great.
I
It's
just
great.
after I shipped it, I was like, I bet you it did the mobile version, and it did. And there's like
It's
maybe a
great.
couple things I want to tweak, but like it looks totally reasonable in mobile version. And I didn't ever tell it to do a mobile version, and I didn't say anything about mobile the entire time because I don't really
It's
care about
great.
mobile for my stuff too much. I mean, I want it
Right.
to be reasonable, but it's like not a lot of people shopping help us software on their phone. So it's like whatever. I want it to just be reasonable. And out of the box, it's just reasonable. Just did it on its own. Great. And then I can whatever. I'll do a few tweaks
I
over the
love that
next
you spent
week.
like 4 months on it and then shipped it and we're like, I wonder if it did a mobile version.
Yeah. I about halfway through, I like eyeballed it very quickly just in the browser and it seemed like it was reasonable. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, it's probably handling it. It's fine. And then last night at like 1 o'clock, I was like, well, let's just see if it is fine. And it was fine. And it was fine. So
Oh man, you should have texted me. We could have just hung out a little
I
bit.
know
I
we
was
could have
up.
got a
That's crazy.
FaceTime. We should have done a
Yeah.
tuple, just
That
hung
would have been
out.
great. Oh, dude, a late night show where we're both totally gassed.
We
Oh,
should
that
have
would
done that.
go so hard.
Oh, kind of bummed we didn't do that
That
actually.
would
That
be
would have been fun.
awesome.
Just
All
thought the
right.
live stream.
That would be crazy. Let's
All
do
right,
it. We got bills to pay. We got
we
kids
got
to feed.
bills
We
to
got horses to
pay.
board.
All right. Oh, I got a little news on the horse front too. All right. Ittybit hooks into your storage bucket and handles all your annoying parts of processing large media files for you. If your project needs video, audio, or image processing that scales, then you should check them out at ittybit.com. And Paul from Ittybit still has a standing offer, $1,000 of free credits for any listeners who are willing to jump on a pair with him for 20 minutes or so and just show him what you're doing right now for your workflow. He's trying to gather data and learn from all that. So if you're interested in earning $1,000 of credit to try out Ittybit, then you can email him at p@ittybit.com and take him up on that. It's an amazing offer. Also, Savvy Cal appointments, scheduling infrastructure for agencies and in-house dev teams from the makers of Savvy Cal. Check that out at savvycal.com/appointments. And by Bento, the email marketing and CRM platform built for the AI era. Send your product marketing and transactional email with Bento at bentonow.com. Thank you to Bento and SavvyCal and Ittybit. Can I say my return to Twitter? One of the little side bonuses is like, I got my core crew. I got the outro stuff I want to talk about. I got the AI stuff I want to talk about. Jesse Hanley. That's
Yep.
a guy who I wasn't really interacting with in my
I know.
pre-Twitter days. I
I
was like,
know.
it'd be nice to have Jesse around. So now we got Jesse
He's a
Hanley.
good he is in the cult of reasonableness, and he's a good follow for that in that regard.
All right. So what we got? So Hell Week 3. I mean, did we kind of cover that? You were up all night.
Kind of covered that. Yeah,
like you're
was up
kind of
all
on
night a
it.
couple times.
Okay.
Slept in the office many
Did
times.
you? Did you really?
Oh, I really did. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh boy, we're gonna get to
know.
Jennifer at the end of the show, I think. But we got some Jennifer commentary.
Yes,
I
we
think.
have a nice Jennifer commentary. But yes, it is. The only way out is through, and I think we're almost there. But yeah, I'll just say I do not recommend. That's my review of Hell Week. Do not recommend.
Oh boy! Now something came up on Twitter. Twitter update is you don't know who Snoop Dogg is, and we got to talk about this. This is insane to me that you've never heard of Snoop Dogg. You don't know who Snoop Dogg is.
Entirely accurate. That is not
How is that
entirely
possible?
accurate. Snoop Dogg famously appeared in a Solo Stove ad about 3 or 4
Oh, yes,
years
he did.
ago.
Yeah.
So, I know who Snoop Dogg is.
Okay,
You
okay.
were you were like you dropped some esoteric Snoop Dogg reference from the 90s or
The
something,
most famous Snoop Dogg, yeah.
and I was
Mhm.
like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And then you put some crude and crass
Ah!
image on
No, it's an
twitter.com.
album cover.
It was horrifying. So I know who Snoop Dogg
Classic
is.
album cover, actually.
I'm not dyed in the wool Snoop Dogg
Okay.
fan, I'll say.
Snoop!
I'm
Oh,
not
Snoop
big
is GOAT.
into I'm not big into weed culture, Ian. Weed is
Yeah, I'm not a weed
drugs.
guy. I'm
I
a
don't
Snoop
know. You
guy.
love Snoop Dogg.
I do love
And
Snoop.
historically, I haven't been big into rap, hip hop,
We gotta
R&B
fix you
culture
on
as
this
well.
too, I have to say.
You know, I grew up on Dashboard Confessional, Green Day, Blink 182,
Yeah,
Boxcar
okay.
Racer. I
That's
grew up on
90s
the
stuff.
I grew up on the angsty teen stuff,
Yeah.
not and less on like the cool guy stuff. So we'll
Mm.
just say that I missed that wave a little bit.
Man, you and me sitting in a room, having a beverage, listening to Snoop Dogg. We might have to make that happen
That's
in a week from now. That might
that
have
is
to happen.
premium content. That is behind a paywall. People
Oh,
would
yes.
people would kill to hear us be a little bit buzzed listening to Snoop and
A
just
little
arguing about
Hennessy.
stuff.
We're just
Yes,
got a Hennessy.
they would
We're just
love
listening
to
to
hear that.
Snoop. I love the sound of
That's a
this.
pay-per-view right there.
I love the sound of this. All right. So at least you kind of know who Snoop Dogg is. You don't know about The Chronic, apparently. You don't know about
I
Doggy
don't know
Style,
that.
apparently.
I don't know
But
that.
we will get you introduced to those along when we do all the movies. Maybe this will be a
Sure.
retirement thing. We'll just
Mhm.
get together. We'll sit and watch movies. We'll do
When I
Snoop
turn
Dogg.
40 and retire, we can watch a bunch of movies together.
You got 3 years. Dude, it's so
I
funny how
know.
you are exactly me from your age in some of these ways. I find it's like looking in the mirror because it's
Yep.
so funny. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be retired. 45, I'm out." You know, when I was 29, I started the business. I was like, 35, I'm out. Then
Mhm.
at 35, 36, I was like, 45, I'm out. Now I'm like 55, I'm out. You know,
The
it just keeps
road
going.
expands before me, doesn't it?
Does.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So you got Snoop covered. Let's do a little outro update. We'll do a quick
I want
outro
to hear an
update.
outro update. You've been cooking. You've been counseling and you've been cooking. So tell us,
Yes.
what are you doing over there?
Dude, I'm in the lab. I'm building HubSpot websites. I'm building outro. It's crazy. It's amazing. People used to say that AI doesn't help you get stuff done faster. I don't know what these people are talking about. I
To be
think we've
fair,
proven them
AI
wrong.
used to not help you get stuff done faster. So
that was
the
like
times
7
have
months ago,
changed.
man. Once at
Yes,
5 months
yes.
ago, that all changed.
I
So
agree.
um outro, baby. I am loving where outro's going. I don't know if anybody's gonna
Wish
want
I
this
could say the
thing.
same. I haven't seen it, but carry on.
I'm trying to get it to us
I
before
know.
we go away. I don't know if it's gonna happen right before we go away, but it'll be close. It'll be when we get back pretty soon after we get back. If not before we go away. There's a chance before we go away, you and me are in it, but otherwise it'll be a little after, but not long. We're close. We're close to you
Okay.
and me being able to use it.
That's what I like to hear.
Man, this thing is nuts. Like, if you have multiple podcasts, I don't even know, like, you're just gonna straight up need this, in my opinion. Now, if you just have one podcast, I mean, it's still gonna be awesome. But with multiple, like, the people out there running multiple podcasts, like, this is gonna be, I feel like, revolutionary. But then also maybe everybody's
Woo!
just gonna be like, I just got these
Revolutionary.
Google Docs and I don't care, you know? So I
Yeah,
don't know. It could go either way. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like I built a Chrome extension, okay?
of
And the
course.
Chrome extension, like you're cruising the web, something you want to talk about on your show, boom, you hit the button and it goes into outro, right? So
Love to
that's an
see it.
obvious thing.
Yep.
But also you could pass it through Gopher, your helpful AI assistant, and the Gopher can do stuff with the
Oh.
article. So like maybe you want to say, hey, make this into 3 different segments based on this, this, and this, and it'll take the article and it'll
Okay.
take it and make 3 segments out of it, right? Because you have different
Okay.
topics, right?
At
Or
the
maybe
risk
it
of saying this is completely overbuilt, this sounds pretty cool. This
yeah, it's a
sounds
little
pretty
overbuilt,
cool.
but it's cool. Yeah, it's gonna build your show notes, do all that kind of stuff, blah, blah. Just even the management of like what we're doing right now in Trello and going through, like, I just feel like that part's slicker. You can have like, your images in there and stuff, which we don't do a lot of that, but for people who do images, has all that stuff, it's got your links and all your things. You can access everything. It's got notes for the people who are in there together, who maybe do a little more prep than we do. And you want to have notes, and I want to have notes on a segment. You can have notes on a segment. You can move stuff around. You can reorganize. You can, if you have you the kind of show where you're like planning multiple in advance because they're more like prepared and you're
I'm
moving
led to
things
believe that
between
that
them.
exists, but boy, have I
Exists.
never done that.
Yeah. So this is again where we've kind of now gone up a level from how we operate. But yeah, so it's got all those
Sponsor
tools.
ordering, because that's one of our biggest pain points is
Yes.
who read what
So
last week and in what order.
for us, it's going to have that, which is yes, when someone I haven't built this part yet, but when someone buys an ad, it will auto assign it into the future episodes, so it'll all be there, and then you can have variable order, so it'll like reorder them if you
Good.
want that, right? And then you could have people assigned to the segment. So if it's an ad read segment, like we could presumably I can even automate that to be random as well and even, but whatever, we can assign it manually if we want to and say Aaron's doing this one, I'm doing this one. They'll all be separate. They'll have their like kind of whatever the ad read is right there.
Good.
Yeah, and then there's like a kind of you could just do it like we do it right now. We just do it from the Kanban of Trello, which you could operate it that way. Or there's like a dedicated on-air screen that's got like takes over the whole screen and like
What?
has your episode segments and the big center column with like so if you just want to have everything and all your notes and all your stuff and unencumbered, you can have that. There's a different view of that, which you can have everything just vertically. So if you're used to like using Google Docs, which a lot of the bigger podcasts do, it'll be Google Doc like, and that it's just like one big document, segment after segment vertically. You got a back channel chat. So if like maybe we're doing an interview and like I just want to message you, it's got that. So it's got a lot of stuff going on.
Dude.
A lot of AI bits. Yeah, it's
This
cooking.
sounds
It's looking
great.
good. Man, I've never built a product like this where like there are no other versions of this. Like I'm out here on an island. Maybe nobody's gonna want this. It's kind of weird. I like it,
Yeah.
but it's weird. It's weird for me because I'm like, there's nobody even to crib off of or anything. There's just like making up as I go
You
along.
just gotta do it yourself. Oh, I hate
Yep.
that for you. I can at least steal from how does VS Code implement Xterm JS, but you're just out,
things, but
you're just out here on your own, man.
I know. So
Okay, this sounds great. I want it.
I know.
I need it.
We do need it. The ad reads, especially for us, will
the
be
ad
so
reads
much nicer.
we gotta make because every week it's like, all right, who read that last week? Who went like what ad went first last week?
Yep.
It's just brutal. The panel podcast is now a 3-person show, and they're changing to a more like docket / rundown instead of a how's your father. And so they're gonna need something like this. Like this is
gonna need it.
Totally purpose built for them. Because they have to they're gonna do like a rotating primary host sort of thing between the 3 of them. And so the primary host is like responsible for bringing the topic and operating as the Jason Calacanis and throwing it around the horn. And so they're going to need some sort of organization. But this sounds
so much
perfect
opportunity
for that.
out there.
So much opportunity.
Build it.
That's what I'm saying. You got to ship it. That's the problem. You have built it. You've got a gopher that will interact with a Chrome extension and create. You've built it. So we've moved on from that. You just got to ship it. You just got to ship it.
But we're getting close.
I hate to say that, like, looking at the HelpSpot website, I'm like, okay, we should let Ian bake because it comes out good on the other side. But I don't like just ship it to me. Ship it to me.
Yeah, but once anybody's in there, there's so much extra burden of the production process. Yes,
I
exactly.
know, you're telling me.
So I don't want to deal with that yet. But soon we'll deal with it. But yeah, it's exciting. There's another part I want to build, which is I didn't hear that. I only listened to part of that episode, but I don't know if they're doing the rundown this way, and we had some ideas for this ourselves at some point. With the idea of like maybe timed segments.
Yeah.
So outro will have timed segments, which that part's spec'd but not built, which I think is going to be pretty cool. So, yeah, they need this.
They need this. We need this. Forget them.
We need this.
I need this.
It's coming. It's right here. We're on the precipice. I can see the end, and like a lot of the big heavy stuff is there. It's a lot of, you know how it is. The little stuff, the little You gotta have this, you gotta have that. Some
There
of these
is
other
no little
modules.
stuff. It's all
I
big
know, that's the
stuff.
thing. Well, that's the thing. Okay, here's a question. I wanted to talk to you about this. Okay, so Outro's gonna have the mailbag. So you
Sure.
can email the show,
Mhm.
comes in. A couple my focus is on, like, you have the email coming in. So obviously just it's all in one spot. The host can both see it without logging into email accounts. That's like the baseline.
I've never once seen an email to the mostlytechnical@gmail.com.
Right.
Every now and then
Exactly.
I'll get like 4 emails from Ian that's like, "Hey, this person said something 6 months ago," and
Right.
I'm like, "Ah, okay, I don't understand." So yes,
So
I'm
you can
interested so
access
far. You've
it.
hooked me.
But also for bigger shows, again, I'm kinda keeping a little bigger show mindset of, like, they get a
Mhm.
lot of email, and I think having some AI grouping of the email will be interesting, like,
Mhm.
here's 20 emails that were all about point X, and if you just
Mhm.
wanna dig into that, now these are all together and you can just see them.
Love it.
Maybe it summarizes them or whatever, fine. Pulls out the best it could, recommend the top 2 or 3 that might be
Love it.
interesting, right? Whatever. That's probably not a V1 feature, but that kinda thing.
Sure, everything's V1.
But I don't wanna build a whole help desk for podcasts necessarily
Been there,
either.
done that.
Right, yeah, so what do you think I'm wondering if I can get
Here we
away
go.
with the
Here we
idea
go. Yeah, here we
of
go.
not allowing you like, if you wanna reply to somebody,
Uh-huh.
could it just be a mail to and for V1 and, like, it opens in your thing? 'Cause, like, I feel like a lot of
No,
shows, they're not actually writing back. You gotta be able to write back in it, huh?
gotta be able to write back. Sorry.
Okay. Then you gotta
Killed it.
thread the replies, you know?
Yep, you do.
Okay.
You're building a help
Alright.
desk.
Okay, I'm building a help desk for podcasts, alright.
Yeah. You
I
can't have you
know,
can't have you
I
can't have
agree.
inbox only with no ability to reply. Just can't do it.
Yeah, you're
Can
right.
you
Even
use
though
Bento API for this? Because I know that like
I think
with Bento
so.
API, you can't build, for example, resend on top of it. Like he
Right.
has like you could build transactional email, which is what I do everywhere with Bento, but you can't build an email service provider. And I don't know where
Right.
that I don't know where the
I
demarcation is
think it
there.
will be okay, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, I should check on that when I get to that point.
I think Cloudflare might have outbound at this point. I know they have
I
inbound.
don't know. Do they? I
They
think they only have
might have
inbound.
outbound. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I use Postmark for other stuff too. I could just use that if it's like I mean, it's not gonna be a lot of emails, so I kinda don't care,
No.
like, in that regard. It's like how many emails are these podcasts are sending back? Like, even a big show is not replying to everybody. So, it's like they might reply to a few if they wanna use something or have a question, like
Yeah.
so the little shows
And
like ours, I do
I
reply,
was
but,
gonna
like
say, not to call ourselves a little show, but I don't know how often the little shows are replying either,
I always reply
based on
eventually.
the emails I get from you.
Eventually, I do reply, but I mean, we're not littlest of little, but we are littler than like the rewatchables or the All In podcast or like whatever these
Mhm. For
big
now, yeah.
shows. So for now, um, yeah. So it's not going to be a lot of emails, so that part I'm not worried about. I mean, inbound could be a fair amount. So there's the
It could
inbound.
be.
That's where
Yeah.
that'll probably end up being more like whatever does the inbound. We'll probably just do the outbound for that. On Bento, uh, when I worked, I think I talked about this in the show. He gave me a nice little deal. He's love Bento to move Lara jobs over there for the
Yeah.
Lara jobs like mailing list, which I'm all set up to do it, but I haven't actually done it. So that's another thing I
Mm.
got to do.
That's how they get you. You have to actually do it. Ah, I hate that part.
Now I'm paying Bento for nothing currently. So it was saving me money, but it's not.
That's
It's
how he
now
gets you.
costing me more money because I haven't actually moved. So I'm paying all my old money to the
Oh,
old
point
place.
to Jesse again.
Yes, and now he's spending nothing on me while I sit there and pay him $40 a month or whatever it is to
Oh,
not send an email.
bamboozled by the generosity. Well played,
Yes.
Jesse.
Well played, sir.
Not to blow
So
up your scope, but to blow up your scope, I also
mm,
want the mailbag to include no replies, but inbound YouTube comments. Just route it through the same mechanisms such that I can
yes.
see inbound YouTube and it can do the same. If you end up doing grouping, summarization, coalescing, I want YouTube comments to show up there as well.
Yeah, so this is definitely not a V1, but I do think that I agree. Like the social media connections so that you can read all your comments as part of the mailbag, I think will make sense to do.
Yeah, I don't super care about Twitter because I'm like out
Yeah.
there interacting already. But the YouTube comments, and I don't know if Spotify has comments, but pulling those in
Uh,
would be nice because we got one comment this week about like, what does AMP give you? Because they farm out to AMP farms out to frontier models
right.
anyway. And I'm glad I remembered that because I want to talk about that in a minute. But having that in the mailbag and then being able to throw it onto the docket would be super
Yep.
nice.
Yeah, I think so. It's all it seems a little scary, that whole angle of things, but I think it's gonna have to happen.
I would start with
So yeah.
YouTube because they have a pretty good
Yes.
data API.
Yeah, I agree. Start with YouTube because also I wanna make the ties to YouTube closer because I feel like you have a lot of people podcasting who approach it more as like a YouTube first
Totally.
endeavor even. So it still would be obviously this all works for planning a YouTube podcast if that's the way you think about it primarily. Um, and then having the comments there would of course make sense. So, yeah, maybe we'll do that early on as like a V1. I don't know. I'm sure there's some you can OAuth connect, blah
You
blah,
can.
some way to grab the comments. So
I do it on my
oh,
my little Life OS. I pull all the
look at
comments in.
you.
So it's they have a great
Okay.
publishing videos to YouTube is a little more complicated.
Mhm.
But if you just want to pull channel data, video data, comment data, it's pretty baked and
Oh,
it's pretty
okay.
easy. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So maybe we'll try to get that in V1. That would be a fun little thing
Hell yeah.
to have. So
That would be.
because I do want I want you to be able to come in and like either start with a YouTube video or start with a podcast RSS feed. So I got to figure that out a little bit, but yes. Okay. So that's
Good.
the outro
I like
update.
it.
Stuff's
That's a
happening.
that's a great update. I
Great
have a new
update. Big
counselor's
update.
pattern. You're gonna love the new counselor's pattern. Okay.
Oh
You're a big
boy. Well,
counselor's
should we
fan.
hold that? Let's hold that.
I'm
Let's pay
holding
the
it.
bills.
I'm
Let's
holding
pay
it.
the
That was the
bills.
tease. That was
That's
the
the
tease.
tease. Okay. All right.
That was
Because
performing.
people
I
love
was
the
mid tease
counselors.
and you
Okay.
teased the tease.
People
So
love
Ian,
it.
I've got this new
Yeah.
counselor's update. You're
Mm.
gonna love it. You're a
What
big
is it?
counselor's
Tell
fan.
me. I want to hear it.
I will tell you after a word from these sponsors. This
Oh, you're killing
show
me.
is brought to you by Redberry. Redberry is a diamond tier Laravel partner agency, one of only 7 worldwide. It's a 200 plus team, over a decade of experience, and a zero drama delivery process at rates that are hard to beat. So if you need a development team, check them out at redberry.international/Laravel-development. Link will be in the show notes. Tell them we sent you, huh? Tell them that we sent you. Also, brought to you by Laravel Private Cloud. This is for the big dogs. Laravel Cloud frees your team from hands-on infrastructure work so they can ship product features faster. Laravel Private Cloud is Laravel's isolated infrastructure offering, ideal for organizations with strict security compliance or performance requirements. You can VPC peer into your existing AWS resources and have full control over networking and compute. You can check that out at cloud.laravel.com/enterprise. And keeping it all in the family, this episode is brought to you by Ray by Spotsy as well. I wonder if we'll see that whole crew at Laracon EU.
I don't know. Probably.
I hope
would
so.
think.
Ray by Spotsy is it is a desktop app you can debug in style with the newly released version 3 of Ray. Looks better than ever with a redesigned UI, snappier feel, and major performance improvements, and is future ready with a built-in MCP server and more new features to come. So you can check them out at myray.app, and hopefully we will see those folks at Laracon EU. Thank you for sponsoring the show. I've got a new counselor's pattern coming for you.
All right. What do we got?
You love counselors, I must
I
say.
love it. I'm the biggest fan.
You are the biggest fan. Nothing makes me happier than finding something that old man Ian just can't stop talking about. He loves
you're
it.
on a heater, man.
I'm on a heater.
Everything you ship, I'm loving right now.
All right. Counselors, as it exists today, is very, very good for asking a panel of LLMs a question and having it all respond, and then like having your main orchestrator agent synthesize those responses and points out gaps and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have found the pointing out of gaps to be incredibly helpful. So
useful.
each one will find something that one of the others didn't find. As is the nature of non-deterministic machines. Each one is a random sampler, and they all find different things. I have invented, we'll say that loosely. I wrote some new code. I've invented a new sort of like it's a preset system inside of counselors. So as it exists,
Okay.
nothing changes. You still can use it the exact same way.
Okay.
There's now a preset system inside of counselors, and the first preset is bug hunt. And so I have been running bug hunt on solo, and it has been discovering unbelievable numbers of
Wow.
like minor race conditions, minor out of order things, minor gaps in like hacking to, receipt of buffers and stuff. And so
Yeah.
what you do, and I still have to refine like the actual skill to run it from inside of your LLM. But right now, I'm just running it on the command line, and I say counselors instead of run. I say counselors loop. So we enter
Okay.
into a loop, and
Oh, you're Ralph looping it.
I am
Okay.
famously anti-Ralph. Okay,
Good.
and so
Yeah.
here, let me illuminate the difference between this and Ralph. Ralph is like, I'm going to write a document and then you're going to slop out code for 8 hours and I'm going to come back and it's going to work.
Right.
Call me skeptical. Okay.
Yeah.
Call me skeptical on Ralph. What this is a loop that you can run for a certain number of iterations or a certain duration. And then it does have some heuristics on stopping. If like the LLMs are like, dude, I can't find anything else. We try to detect that and just say, we'll kill it early. So I run counselor's loop, and then I have a preset called bug hunt. And I'll explain presets in a second. And then I give it a prompt that's like, I need you to look at the way that bytes are flowing from Rust over the channels to the front end, and make sure that we're properly handling all like disconnects, ACK responses. We're just properly handling everything so that we don't ever lose any output. That's what I say. Like I put that in, as a argument to the command line.
Yep.
And then I give it my group, as is normal with counselors. I say, I want to use the smart group to do this. And I want it to run for 30 minutes. Just run for 30 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
Just keep going, baby.
Okay.
And so what the preset is the preset has like a predefined prompt that I have written for bug hunt.
Right.
And
it's
it
like
talks
a
about
skill for counselors.
It's a skill for counselors. It talks about all the different types of bugs that are like really common, like race condition, time of check, time of use, like all of these different ones that are real, like kind of like finicky. And so what happens is your first agent in your group, whichever that agent is, takes your user input and pulls in the preset prompt and then like writes a consolidated prompt that's like, hey, look in these files because that the user said, flowing over the wire, I'm going to go discover. Here are some files. Here's the preset prompt. And then at the end, it appends instructions like, your job basically is to find specific areas and suggest specific tests that would fix or illuminate whether this is an actual bug or not. And then it enters into a loop. And so round one, let's say you have 3 agents. Round one, all 3 agents are working. Round 2 comes up and the prompt is modified to say, here's what was found in round 1. Do not focus, like read these files. Do not focus on anything that was found there. Your job is to find new things. And it says like, don't focus on, don't focus on brittle things, visual tests, vendor directories, all that. Right. But as it goes, it keeps building up these like set of markdown files. It's like, here's what I found, here's what I found, here's what I found. And I have found that like on round 3, sometimes Codex will be like, okay, in round 1, Opus found this, and in round 2, Gemini found that. They're actually the same thing, but they both mischaracterized it, and it's this thing. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And so then... It's self-aware. And then at the end, and this is the part that still needs to be tightened, then at the end, I just go back into, in this case, AMP in deep mode, and I say, hey, read every single finding from this folder, and then tell me which ones are legit and which ones aren't. They have suggested tests, and so we can, write those for the legit ones. And it'll come back and be like, yeah, 8 of 12 of those bugs are actual things that actual users would encounter in this circumstance, and their terminal would end up looking wonky. And I'm like, this is incredible. This is
Wow.
absolutely amazing. And
That's
it's just
crazy.
surfacing all of, and this is like I say it's a different pattern because with Counselor's Run, you're like, I'm the user, I have a question. And with Counselor's Loop, it's like, I want you guys to kind of go off and discover stuff that I'm maybe
Yeah.
not even thinking of.
Yeah.
And so I have three skills, we'll just call them that, three presets, three skills right now. One is bug hunt, one is I think it's called audit drift, and that's where it looks
Mm,
for like places that you're implicitly like duplicating logic or should be using a state machine or things could get out of
mhm.
order. And then one is security, where it looks through and it's just like audits the whole thing for security vulnerabilities,
Yep.
or like you even saw in Counselors, it was like somebody could upload a memory bomb image and you just open
Right.
it or something.
Yep.
So yeah, you can run it in a loop for a certain number of durations, or a certain number of loops, or a certain time duration. And so if you're reaching the end of your month on Gemini and Codex, and you've
You
still
got
got like
room?
50% of your usage left, let it rip for like 8 hours and see what happens. So
Dude, this is
I'm
crazy.
super pumped by it.
I want this right away. I've never actually used the counselors from the command line directly,
I
so
know.
that would be interesting. This is the thing. So it's like I love how you're going down this path because these are like, yeah. This is my issue with the Ralph Wiggum loop. Is
Yeah,
like the whole thing is you just feed it the same prompt, and I was like, well, I didn't understand how it goes past like 10 minutes because it's just going to be like, okay, I did that, and like
I
I guess
know.
if you give it a huge enough thing, whatever. But like changing the prompt is the key bit that needs to
Mm-hmm.
happen to make it continue to be useful in a loop for hours and hours, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. So like that does that. Um, I love the sound of this. I feel like what does counselors even do? So when you run this in the loop from the command
Mm-hmm.
line, is it
Mm-hmm.
just putting markdown files somewhere?
Yeah.
Like because there's no overlord AI summarizing all. Then you point your regular Claude instance at this group of files,
In
or
Counselor's Run right now, there's no like if you ran Counselor's Run from the command
Mhm,
line, you would have to give it the prompt. If you run
right,
Counselors from Claude, it knows that the prompt needs to be generated, and so it
right,
generates the prompt.
yep,
In Counselor's Loop, in the example I said, I need you to audit like the terminal life cycle.
yeah,
It takes the first agent from your group and synthesizes your prompt and turns it into
okay,
an expanded like,
okay, mhm,
why don't you guys look here,
yeah,
basically. um it still will allow your orchestrating LLM to write the prompt and skip that part, but
mhm,
running it from the command line, I realized, well, you're already giving it access to presumably three really good agents.
right,
Let's just pluck the first one
just
off the
use it,
top. And you can configure that. Let's pluck it off the top and just use that to write that first prompt, and then everything after that is deterministic, like um the appending of, hey, here's what the other agents found. It's just a
yeah,
link
it's
to
just
the
doing it.
markdown files that they output.
Do you have to give it a directory or it uses the current directory or
Same deal. It puts it in agent counselors, but you could
okay,
configure it.
yeah, interesting. This is my number one beef right now with counselors, which has nothing to do with you, which is I always run it in, planning mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then in
Mm-hmm.
planning mode, it always has to ask me if it can
I
make the
know.
directory and if it can make the prompt.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, no, I'll like go do something else to come back. It's like, can I make the prompt? I'm like, yes, make the prompt.
I know.
So that's why I have to find a way to run dangerously. But I've now tried like 4 different ways and I can't find one
No,
that
no, no.
works for
Just
me.
don't
So
run counselors in plan mode,
I know, but then
because
will it work okay? I want it to be in plan mode though. It won't start
no.
coding. I don't
So
want it to start
no, no,
coding.
no, it won't. It'll report
Okay.
back, here's what the counselors found. And
Mm,
then you throw it into plan mode and
at that
say, make
point.
a plan based on the findings.
All
Yeah.
right, let me try that. I just don't want
Try
it to go
that.
off coding
I know.
stuff, and then that irks me. But
I
you're
know.
saying it won't do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I
Typically,
will
and it could be the way that I invoke it. I always say, like, ask the counselors, run this by them, see what they
yeah,
say. And that
maybe
could like tell it. But
I can lean it, yeah. I could just
I
explicitly tell it, "Don't code anything,"
yeah,
yeah.
I think it's basically like, let me run this skill and give you the output. I think the end
Right.
of the skill basically says, summarize this and present it back to the
Yeah.
user.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
And so I
I'll
think
try
that's
that.
the
That'll be
stop
the next
condition.
step.
Yeah.
I love this idea of presets. I presumably can make your own if you have little
You can.
specialty things you want to
You sure
do.
can. You
You're
can
going to
give it
ship a
a.
couple if you want, if
I think
trusted ones.
I ship 3, and then you can give it a like file path to. It's just everything like everything else, just a
Right.
markdown file with some YAML front matter. And so you could have your own loopable thing that looks for things over and over and over.
See, now I feel like counselors needs to get baked into solo. Like that this is a little
I'm coming
secret
for you.
magic sauce, right?
Yeah.
Of like
Mm-hmm.
solo. And even though, yes, you could just do it yourself, but
Yep.
like, oh, I could just have it baked into solo. And like it
Yep.
does, I got a counselors tab there. It's just doing counselors things and
Yep.
whatever. Oh, it's all
You
coming
see the
together.
vision. You see the
Yes.
vision. Because in
I love,
solo,
mm,
I you know hand wavy shell out to your CLIs, right?
right.
And so it's
Hmm.
the exact same thing. I know what you have on your
Yep.
system. I
Yep.
know how to run it. And so now you've seen it, Ian. You've seen the light. So now
Love it, baby. Let's go.
in solo, you've got a little tab, who knows where it goes, that just says bug hunt. And
Yep.
it's like, all right, which of your agents that I already know about do you
Yep.
want to use to bug hunt and for how long?
Yep.
Great. I got it, brother. I'm off to the races.
So
Yeah,
happy. Love
exactly.
it.
You see it.
The groups also, you added groups. I think we
Yep.
talked about this last week, but
Mhm.
the groups are great.
Groups are
Way
great.
better than the individual
Oh,
selections. Just
way
like it
better.
always just asks me which group. I tell it.
Yep. Smart
I've
group.
actually used all three. I have 3 groups. I've actually used all three. I mostly use the smart one, but sometimes
What
I
are your
use the
groups?
medium. I have the smart group, which is like all the top tier of
Mhm.
everything, and then I have the medium group, which is uh amp smart. I think it
Mhm.
drops to amp at that point, and then codex goes to just high instead of extra high. And then I
Mhm.
have the fast group, which then drops to sonnet and Gemini Flash and codex medium. I guess.
Codex. You should try Codex Spark.
I guess I should try codex Spark.
You could have Codex Medium and Codex Spark in there. Codex Spark is super fast and it's on its own quota, so it wouldn't really hurt you.
And can you just use it, or is that a pay? You have to have an API key for it. It's
No, you
included in
just
the
use it.
plan.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I should try that. Although the
I sure
fast
hope
doesn't
so
really
because
help.
I've been using it.
It's gonna ask. It's gonna wait for the other ones anyway, so it kind of
Yeah.
doesn't really matter. It's faster, but um, yeah. So those are my groups. Maybe I should have an extra fast group that's
Mhm.
Codex Spark and Gemini Flash or something like that. Just
Mhm.
those two to get at stuff real
Have you
quick. But
updated your groups to do Gemini 3.1 instead of 3.0?
I did, and
Yeah.
now it seems to work. I had one problem with it because I hoisted my own petard, as you would say,
I
where
would say.
I did it and it stopped work. It wasn't working, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's an error, or whatever." Maybe I screwed something up, or Claude screwed up because I had Claude change the config. But then I remembered that since I wasn't really using Ultra, I dropped myself to Pro because like, why am I paying
Ugh.
for Ultra? But then 3.1 is
Ugh.
only available on Ultra.
With the
So and then
masses and the cattle cars and the back
I
of the plane,
know. And
Ian.
then I was like, why am I trying to save money? First rule I always have is don't try to save money.
Never
So
try to save money.
it was so dumb. So, and because then I want to use 3.1 on some of the animations on the HelpSpot
Yep.
website and stuff. So I was like, all right, let's go back to Ultra. So I got Ultra back. Then my 3.1 worked in
There you go.
counselors and I can use it for the animations and whatever. So yeah, Gemini 3.1 super good at animations. So if you want to animate stuff, just use it's still man, the command line tool is terrible.
Boy,
Unusable practically.
not
And
great.
the whatever. I can't even tell how it does with regular coding because it's so hard to use the CLI that I haven't really done much regular
It's
coding.
not
I've
great.
just been having it do the animations, but
It's
it
all
does do a much better
flashy.
job
It
of
just like keeps
animations.
redrawing itself.
It does stuff like that. But it also just gets confused a lot weirdly, like
Mm,
and strays off, which is still. This is where I don't know. Claude to me still doesn't
still
stray,
doesn't stray.
and the other ones stray. People love Codex. I'm like Codex is just like my header's blank now. Why is my header blank? You were working on this text area, and now
Mhm.
my header's blank. Why? And like so it just strays and does weird shit, and I don't know. But for the architecture, I do like the Codex. Like in the
I do too.
counselors, I feel like Codex is like the big brother who's always in
It
there, like,
is. Yep.
you guys, you did a pretty good job, little fellas. But
It's the neck beard.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
It's
So
kind of the
that part I
jerk,
do
but
like
it's
it.
mostly right and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that part is good. That's where I feel like that's the benefit. And then the other guys can go off and build it just as well as Codex can. It's just like it has to have it does a nice job being in there to have the vision to see some of the
Yep.
weirder stuff. But
I agree.
yeah. So counselors, baby. Everybody, if you haven't tried counselors, just go use counselors. So good. What are we up
It's
to?
just
I mean, We're up to how many stars we at now? 425. All
Hey, not
right. We
bad.
got some
Last I checked,
issues.
it was like 350.
We got
We
some
got some
pull
issues of, yeah,
requests.
people opening issues for like, "Hey, I figured out how to do it with, like, cursor CLI. Would you be open to,
Mm,
adding it?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'd be open to adding it. That's
yep.
awesome."
Yep.
So yeah, I've merged several pull requests. I've merged some that are like, "Hey, on Windows with PS2 or whatever, I don't know what they call it over there, it
Mm.
doesn't work." And I'm like, "Ugh, all right, let me see what Opus has to say about that."
Yeah.
But yeah, people like it. I get messages from people randomly that's like, "Oh, dude, Counselors is amazing." And I'm like, "God, it feels so good. Like, it feels good to win one."
You're rocking, baby.
I'm rocking. I found it. I'm in my groove. I've got another one for you. And this is lightweight. This is lightweight.
Okay.
This will be
Alright.
on this will be on faster.dev,
Okay.
which by the time you all are listening to this is hopefully live. But we'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay,
Um,
alright. Boy, it's gonna
I
be a
have a
long one. We got a lot to cover.
I have a new skill, and it's
'Kay.
the learnings skill.
Mm.
Okay?
What is
The
this?
learning skill.
Mhm.
I have found that development hasn't changed one bit. You
Mhm.
still chase bugs in circles. You just do it
Mhm.
faster and it costs more money. Okay?
Yeah,
So
right. Right.
you're still like you still have to do root cause analysis. You still have to figure out what is actually happening here.
Yep.
If you let the machine patch it with if statements, you're going to be in a
Right.
bad spot. And so
Mhm.
you're still in the loop, you're still using your brain. And finally you figure it out, right?
Mhm.
And if you're not sleeping very much or you have 4 kids or some combination of the
Sure.
two,
Mhm.
you forget things, okay?
No. Yeah.
And the learnings skill, which I have
Mhm.
just recently written, um, what it does is it takes like I'll do slash learnings, and I can
Mm.
optionally say like the Xterm JS flash bug or whatever.
Mhm.
And what it does is it looks over our previous conversation, and it
Mhm.
looks over like 1 or 2 Git commits, and it extracts valuable learnings and it writes it
Mm.
to an agent's. I put everything in agents now. So it writes it to agents
Mm.
slash learnings as a markdown
'Kay.
file. It has it has specific file references, specific code patterns, and if
Mm.
applicable, specific Git commits, and then a description of what we were doing, and then at the end, like a very compressed version of basically like guidelines and rules moving forward.
Mm.
And so it's like, don't do this, do this, don't do this, do this. And so now, and it's date stamped as well. So the file itself it has a timestamp on it, and then in the YAML front matter, it has like the date that we were
Mhm.
working, etc. And so now I'm keeping this rich history, and it can fade because it's date stamped. So it's not just like, hey,
Yep.
everything in here holds equal weight. It can fade
Right.
out over time. Keeping this rich history of these esoteric
Mm.
bugs that I'm coming across with these languages and tools I'm not familiar with. Like,
Right.
the Rust IPC channel can disconnect. And I'm like, okay, that's good to know. Why didn't
Right.
you tell me that in the first place? Let's commit this to
Yeah.
this repo. So you
Mm.
can rely on like Claude has like an auto memory system,
Yeah, I don't like that
which
thing.
is no, who knows what's going in there? I have no
Yeah.
idea. And then you hop over to Codex and it's not reading Claude's auto memory.
Right.
The Claude MD is more for like here's how you run tests, here's the patterns we use, here are
Right.
the things we don't do. Rules are more like guidelines for writing, front end components, or writing pest tests or whatever.
Mhm.
And so I'm missing this third place of like long term memory, and so now I can manually invoke this learning skill and say
Mhm.
that sucked, I never want to do that again.
Yep.
Take everything we've learned, compress it, put in references, and write it to a file. And then optionally, the memory or the learnings skill can search it. And so I can do
Mm.
slash learnings. What was that thing where we had the white flash? And it'll look through that
Mm.
whole directory looking for the thing where we had the white
Hmm.
flash of the terminal. So early days, I've just started using it. So far, I've produced a few learnings documents and it's awesome. And the reason I like putting this in the agents folder, I get ignore agents counselors. I don't get ignore agents because now
Mhm.
the learnings are all in Git. And if I were on a team, teammates would have access to all of those learnings as well.
Yeah, you definitely want that with the repo. So, like, um, so I love this also, good one. I'm actually I'm kinda cooled on skills in general. I feel like
Mm,
bell curve, mem,
yep.
just prompt at either end, you know? But there are a few, obviously, the counselor's one. I feel like something like this could be useful, like, more where you're really like, these subtle ones, it's like, "Oh, I do design skill." Like, I
I
feel
know.
like they don't work that well, you
I
know? It's like,
agree.
I don't think I get that much out of it, like, but something like this where it's like, yeah, more explicitly me attempting to do
Yes.
something and keeping me from writing the prompt that would do it, like, that I'm
Correct.
invoking this. I'm invoking it more than it's a thing for the AI to invoke on its own necessarily.
That's 100% how I prefer it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so now are you doing this because what I wanted something like this for is more the idea that, like, I'm not necessarily gonna go back to it, although I could. It's more that, like,
Mhm.
when it's grepping through stuff for a bug related to this
Exactly.
area, it's going to
Yes.
find this learning and be like, "Oh,
Yes.
what was this thing we dealt with? And
Yep.
maybe this is relevant in some way," whatever, yeah. Okay.
Yep, and so I do have a reference in my Claude MD that's like, "Hey, there's some documentation over here from historical things that we have fixed.
Yeah,
If you need further, like, you can go over there."
yeah,
But yes, I totally agree. My preferred style of using skills is to manually invoke them. I don't
yeah.
want when I'm like, "Hey, can we move this button around?" I don't want it to be like, "Loading the design skill." I'm like, "Wait, I didn't ask for that." Um, I have 2 skills that I run at the end of every session, and
Okay.
maybe learnings will be a third. But 2 skills that I run at the end of every session is the first one is tests new. And what
Mm,
tests new does, I agree, it's just a prompt that I didn't want to type.
right.
It says, look over our entire conversation, look over unstaged files, and look one
Mhm.
or two commits back. And everything that we've touched and changed, assess it with fresh eyes and see if there's anything here that we haven't tested.
Yeah,
It's great. It's
yeah,
fantastic. The second one that I run every time is finalize. And what finalize does is it says, look back over everything we've done, same kind of like scope, and look for false starts, paths we went down that we decided weren't good,
mhm.
debug statements while we were trying to fix something, and let's do a clean dead code. Let's do a clean look at all of that with fresh eyes and finalize this before we commit. And so I'll
Yeah,
be like ripping on a chunk of work. I'll run new tests, I'll run finalize, and then I run commit. And I'm like,
yep.
this feels like a stable, landable chunk that I can put into the app.
Yeah, I gotta start doing that more. I have something similar to that, but it's not as fleshed out. Will steal yours once it's on faster.dev, which I
Yes.
assume it'll be up there. Um, I do need to do that kind of thing, I think. I tend to work in pretty small chunks, so I don't usually end up with tons of dead stuff, but still there could be some in there, and definitely on the test front. I feel like it's always if it's writing a lot of tests, but obviously some of them are iffy. I wouldn't mind like it going over it and making sure there
Yeah.
actually is tests for everything and that the tests that
Yep.
are there are reasonable and not just stupid stuff. Um, Kinda on the learnings, what I also want is, like I think with you building solo, it's a little different because like, you're in this whole domain you don't know anything about, right? And, like,
That was
it's like, "Okay,
smart of me. Yeah.
yeah, let me save these weirdo things I learn about how all this stuff works." So, like, in Outro or in HelpSpot where it's like, okay, like, it's regular CRUD, like, we got it, it knows Laravel, got it, like, all that stuff. What I kinda want is a learnings, but for, like, philosophy. Not like
Mm.
writing the full spec like, I'm not gonna write the full spec and go through the whole thing because 'cause we're moving, we're building stuff, but,
Right.
like, sometimes there's just a philosophical this is how we do things here. Like, in Outro, like, the users are called crew, like, you're on the crew. So, like, right now I have that little bit just in Claude, so it knows to
Mm-hmm.
name things crew
Mm-hmm.
and do stuff crew, but there's other things like that that like philosophically, this is how we do this type of thing or what we think about the end result of this sort of thing. And like then letting that be greppable by it. So like when it's
Yeah.
going through to build this type of feature, it's like, oh, our philosophy on this is XYZ. And now I know that. So there's something
Oh, you
there.
should do it. You should do
Yeah,
it.
maybe I'll
It's
do a
so easy.
philosophy skill.
Just tell Claude to do it and then
Yeah.
uh put it in a philosophy folder with like an index.
Yeah.
So it's like our, users are called crew. And then it can
Right.
link out to like another document, or it can just put the paragraph below it of like 2 paragraphs of, philosophy, and then just put a
Yeah.
little reference to that in Claude MD.
Yep.
Um, and then, of course, you can manually invoke it and say, philosophy, update this to follow our users are called crew, or like read the philosophy and make sure this is in line, and it'll just do it itself.
Yeah, yeah,
Do
yeah.
it. That's awesome.
Might happen, might happen. What do you're putting everything in slash agents, but I feel like it feels too like that's where real code goes and no dot agents. Isn't there like a dot agents people are
There's a
putting
dot
stuff in?
agents. Yeah.
Okay. But you're not a
And
believer in the dot agents?
all the tools that I like counselors that's configurable, I just don't like it because it's hidden.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanna open Finder and look through all the counselors
Mm.
and the reference.
You
Another
don't
big
wanna have
thing
to
I
go in
put
the IDE, you just wanna be in
no,
Finder, I
gosh, I haven't
see,
opened the
yeah.
IDE in
Yeah.
it forever.
Right.
I also have so other things that go in the agents, the top level agents directory for me is references. So like when I finish on V0 designing something, I
Mhm.
download the zip, unzip it, and put it in agent/reference. And then I'll tell
Mm.
Opus like, hey, I made this design. You just lie to it. I made this
Right.
design. It's in reference. Go ahead and look at it and pull like some of those things in.
Yeah.
And then I also put I'll put plans in there, like active plans. So what I'll do
Right.
is I'll often like do a big deep research with Gemini and Claude on the web.
Mm.
I'll download those huge markdown files and put them into reference.
Yep.
And then I'll open up Claude and say, I need you to read these two huge, research documents and then synthesize them. And let's write a durable plan to
Yep.
agents/plans/xterm JS migration or whatever.
Mm. Yep.
Um, and so that way I can have Opus churn on it, and then when it writes the plan, I can go to Amp Deep and be like, "Hey, can you read these two giant documents and read this synthesized plan and highlight any
Right.
gaps or whatever?" I can have counselors churn on it, and so I
Mm.
just keep a lot of reference documents in there.
Mm.
I get ignore reference and I get ignore counselors, but plans and learnings I keep
Yep.
alive.
Alright. Yeah, I gotta figure out my strategy for some of that stuff too. Hmm. There's something here with, like, keeping stuff, what to keep, what to get rid of, where to
Yeah.
keep it. I haven't thought enough about that. I've been moving too fast. I haven't had time. I don't know how you're stopping to build counselors and do these other things. You're just like you're all over the place,
Well, that
but you're
it
doing good
surprises
stuff all
no
over the
one.
place.
Yeah.
You're dialing. I'm glad you're still you're directionally heading in all the same direction though, so that's
Yes,
good.
all the vectors are pointed the right way.
Yes. All right. So we have a final topic here,
We
I
do.
believe.
I was reminded
Mm.
how nice it is to have a wife. So
Oh, oh,
I'm dying out here, right?
you are dying. You're in the
Trying
streets.
to do it all.
Mhm.
Don't listen to anybody. You can have it all. You can have it all.
Sure.
Um, and so, I'm trying to make it home for, all the kids' stuff, trying to make it back to the
Mhm.
office, back for school pickup in the morning. And I just casually Jennifer was like, do you have a blanket at the office? And I'm like, oh yeah, I've got a blanket. But I've got a
Uh,
pillow. I don't know where the pillowcase is. It's somewhere. And so I'm
yep.
just like, I just crash on the couch with this pillow with no pillowcase, throw the blanket on, and I just fall asleep. And she's like, "Oh, that's so sad." And then later that day, I put, I think this was a Saturday or Sunday, and so on Saturdays and Sundays, I put I'm home all morning, and then I put the big kids down for nap, and then it's like, "You got 2 hours, man. Go rip some tokens."
Go run it,
And
yeah.
so I put the big kids down for nap. I went downstairs and got my backpack. And I pulled it up, and it was all bulky, and I was like, "What did I put in here? Like, what did the kids
What's
put in
going on?
here?"
Yeah.
And I look in my backpack and I pull out a pillowcase. She's just like,
Oh,
she had just added a pillowcase because she
that's so
thought
funny.
sleeping with no pillowcase is so sad. I'm going to take
That is
care of my
sad.
sweet, poor husband.
Oh my
And I was just
goodness.
so moved. It was just like the most thoughtful thing in the world. Like
That
just
is
the
very
little
thoughtful.
things that she's trying to do to make my life a little bit better. She put a
Mhm.
pillowcase in my backpack, and I thought, man, it is nice to have a nice wife. It
That's a good
really,
one.
really is.
It's a
So
keeper.
shout out to
Yeah,
Jennifer for
and
trying to take care of me.
she's busy. She's not like she's not got a lot
Oh
going on,
gosh.
so
Yeah.
man, wow. Well, that is very nice. Yes,
Very
the
sweet.
supportive wife, major key to the whole
Major
operation.
key. Yes.
Yeah, so definitely agree with that. Jamie will never in a million years get this far in this podcast, so she will not hear
Oh.
this because there's way too much tech. She always yells at me, this episode was too technical. I couldn't get through it. But yes, the supportive wife, super important. Every day it comes up practically with Just the little things that help keep you going when you
Keep you
you're
going when you're getting
dragging.
crushed.
Yeah. We're getting crushed out here.
Mhm.
What do you think about the idea of one little final thing? Because it's kind of related to this. Like, I feel like you have all the people, everybody's building, we're building all this stuff. I'm building a lot of stuff. You're building a lot of stuff. There's like, I don't know. I just feel like the gamification of the software development, there's like this
Mhm.
whole
Yeah.
cycle now. Like it's just you're beating the levels, right? And like
Yep.
it's so tempting to just keep going on
And
stuff, and it's hard to know if it's a good idea.
every prompt is like a slot machine pool. Like,
It really
is it gonna
is.
fix it? And it's like, no, I
Yes.
should ask the counselors. Will they fix
Right.
it? No. What could
And
it
it's a
be?
game. It's like, oh, you
Yes,
win, and like,
I
yeah, it's
know.
like oh man, I don't
It's
know.
incredibly addicting.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it's not great. As I like rub my eyes and think about how I need to go get a Celsius, it's not
As you
great,
as you
Ian.
as you become Gordon Gekko and you're just living at the office
Seriously,
5 days a week, yeah.
I know I'm Shia LaBeouf in Wall Street. Money never
I
sleeps.
almost watched that this weekend. I
Great
almost
movie.
watched it for you.
Great
I was like,
movie.
maybe I will I'm going to watch it soon because I wanna see maybe it's not terrible. I mean, it's
It's
gotta be
not
terrible with
terrible.
Shia LaBeouf, but I do love
It's
Gordon
not
Gekko, so
terrible.
maybe it's alright.
Yep.
I love Michael
Shia LaBeouf,
Douglas.
Carey Mulligan, just a great movie.
Alright, I will watch it. You're gonna listen to Doggy Style. I'm gonna watch Wall Street
Very
2.
much doubt that, but sure.
That's a fair trade. Um, alright. Well, there's episode. You're gonna go take a nap. I took a nap yesterday. Man, that powered me
Gah,
through finishing the HubSpot
life of
website.
luxury,
Oh, I was like, now I'm ready
middle-aged
to go.
king. That's
I'm
unbelievable.
ready to rock, crush the tokens. All right. I drove through the snow to get here.
Mm,
Anything for the pod.
that's
Inches of
right.
snow out there. We got it done.
Gotta get you a
Thanks for
Yarbo.
listening. Yeah, I gotta get a Yarbo. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Mostlytechnical.com. Thanks to sponsors. We will be coming to you next week, probably from Europe if we get that done. Or we won't hear it from us next week. One or the
We
other,
will
but
definitely be in Europe.
we will
It's a
be
question of
there.
if we come to you from Europe.
Yeah, if we come to you from Europe. I think we will, probably. I'm gonna bring the stuff. We'll probably we have no responsibility. We're throwing a
Ah,
party and we're done. So I feel like we'll
can't
probably
wait.
find an hour somewhere or other, but it's gonna be nice. It's not quite a vacation. Oh, let me tell you, there was gonna be the weather looked terrible, and I was like, this is horrible. Why did I agree to this? But now it's gonna be in the 50s
We
and
love the
pretty nice.
50s. Yeah.
So I'm good with that first what it's like here. So we're all good. I'm driving to Boston to get on a plane, which is crazy. And but we'll see you there. So see you in a couple days, sir, and then see the listeners soon from Europe. Talk to you next week.
See you there. Bye.
Later.